Isn't it fascinating how the mind, it's learned to do something so well, so perfectly, so effortlessly, like worrying, almost as if it's an old friend, familiar, reliable, always there, whispering, nudging, what if, watch out, be careful. And isn't it interesting how something that was once a shield became a weight, something that protected, now imprisons, and yet, somewhere deep inside, a part of you already knows, a truth so simple, so obvious, so clear, that even the sky doesn't worry about falling, the ocean doesn't worry about spilling, the trees don't worry about losing their leaves, they simply are. And if you were to imagine, just for a moment, what would it feel like to let go? Just a little, just enough, to feel a shift, a change, an opening. As if something inside has been waiting for permission, waiting for you to notice. That worrying about not worrying is just another kind of worry. And there was a time, wasn't there? A time when you laughed without checking first. A time when you played without planning. A time when you simply lived. And somewhere, somehow, that time is still there, still accessible, like an old song that you forgot you knew. But the moment you hear the first few notes, it all comes back. And maybe, just maybe, you can begin to wonder, what if relaxing isn't reckless? What if playfulness isn't dangerous? What if joy isn't irresponsible? What if, just by considering the possibility, your mind starts to shift just enough to remember that the best discoveries, the most brilliant breakthroughs, the greatest joys, they've always come from the moments when someone let go. And who would you be if worrying wasn't necessary anymore? If mistakes weren't monsters, but stepping stones? If playing wasn't a risk, but a path? If relaxation wasn't a weakness, but a gift? If you could see with new eyes that the very thing you feared, it was never real to begin with. And even now, something inside, it's already changing. And you don't even have to try, because it's happening automatically, naturally, effortlessly. And isn't that interesting? Just how the mind holds on, clings, as if gripping tightly is the only way to stay safe, as if tension itself is protection. But what if true safety, real security, the kind that doesn't drain, doesn't exhaust, doesn't trap, what if that comes from something else entirely? Because haven't you noticed that a cat doesn't second guess itself before it leaps? The river doesn't apologize before it flows. The sky, it doesn't regret changing colours, and yet everything works perfectly, seamlessly, without effort, without hesitation, without needing to worry about getting it right. And maybe, just maybe, there's something in you, something old, something wise, something deeper than the mind, that already knows this truth, that recognizes it like an old friend, that sighs in relief, as if it's been waiting for you to see. Because wasn't there a time, before the worry, before the tension, before the need to be on guard, when laughter was easy, when play was natural, when mistakes, they were just part of learning, and learning was an adventure, not a punishment? And it's funny, isn't it, how the mind can create rules that were never really there. Rules like, I must always be alert, I must never make mistakes, I must worry, or something will go wrong. And yet, have you ever noticed how much life happens effortlessly, without any of that? Your heart beats without stress, your breath flows without worry, the seasons change, the sun rises, and none of it needs tension, none of it needs fear. It simply is. And in that isness, there's a power, freedom, possibility. And right now, even as these words flow into your mind, Something inside is already shifting, isn't it? Because the truth is, worry, it was never protection. It was just a habit learned. And if it was learned, then something new can be learned too. Something better, something lighter, something freer. And isn't it fascinating how easy it is to imagine a new way, a different way? A way where play and relaxation, they aren't dangerous but necessary. Where mistakes aren't failures, but stepping stones. Where letting go isn't reckless but wise. And what if, just for a moment, you could feel that, truly feel that, deep inside? Not just an idea, but as a knowing, as a shift, as a new way of being. Because something inside you, it already understands, already remembers. And you don't even have to try. It just happens naturally, effortlessly, automatically. And isn't that interesting?